least embarrassing thing to do is to stand up. It's only 3 feet deep and 80% of the river. If any of your belongings go in, especially your cell phone, order a new one. We have so many phones in the river, they're pretty much a new species of fish. You can use your phones on board for many different things. Pictures and videos will always be greatly encouraged and appreciated. But we're not allowed to talk or FaceTime on them for 2 different reasons. First and foremost, out of respect of the other guests around us. And secondly, everybody aboard needs a ticket to hear my jokes. If you do have any questions throughout the trip, ask away. I'm more than happy to answer any and all questions that you might have. But please do keep all of our personal conversations down to a minimum for the people that want to hear the tour. And most importantly, you guys, life jackets. We have them. Where are they? Feel underneath your seat for your life jacket.
There's no life jacket.
They're not there. We have them in these 2 hatches up front, but we have a better track record than the Titanic, so we're not going to need them. And I do ask a bunch of questions throughout the tour. If you want to answer, that's perfectly acceptable. If you want to sit back, relax, enjoy your time, that's a great way to spend your Sunday afternoon as well. First and foremost, you guys, does anyone know what the most commonly spoken language was here in the 1800s? The most common guess is Spanish. It is incorrect. Following Spanish, the next most commonly guessed are Portuguese, French, and Dutch. Those are also wrong. I get a lot of weird guesses day in and day out, things like Italian, Latin. I get Japanese, Chinese, and Korean all the time. I don't know why. The answer is German. In the surrounding areas, we have a lot of German-influenced cities like New Braunfels, Fredericksburg, Kearney, and Greene. Those cities are all named after the German settlers who came here to Central Texas to start their lives. And if you look high into the right-hand side, you'll see the St. Joseph Catholic Church, built back in 1868 by a group of Germans who wanted to worship God in their own native language, so they built a place of worship to be able to do so. To this day, you can still go into that church and get blessed in German by their pastors. Every single month as well, they hold a singular sermon that is entirely in German. And if you want to figure out when the next one is, that's the reason they have a website. Go check it out. The steeple atop the church was added in 55 years after they built it, whenever the church came into some more money. Here on the river as well, we do have a lot of different flora and fauna. The most common thing that people see on our tours are going to be the ducks. If you don't see any on the trip, you're probably not looking around enough. My favorite species that we have out here are the Egyptian geese. These geese are a little bit bigger than ducks. Oftentimes their bodies are brown, black, gray, white with a little bit of orange around their face. And most of the time you'll see them in a group of 2 because they are a mating species. Unfortunately for them, if they do get separated from their mate for too long, they can actually die of depression. Yeah, I know, so sad. We also have a bunch of species of fish here in the river, and I'll let you know exactly what they are whenever I show you where you can fish for them. We have invasive species as well, like giant apple snails, and we have some odd species like cormorants. Where we're going to be taking a left-hand turn here, going onto the natural flowing river. Everywhere we have been on currently has been entirely man-made, but as we take our turn, if you look high into the left-hand side, you'll see what we call the Lego Hotel. Now we call it that for 2 different reasons. First and foremost, it looks like Lego bricks stacked one on top of each other. And secondly, it was built that way as well using something called modular construction. That's how they build cruise ships nowadays. It's officially known as the Hilton Palacio del Rio, which means palace on the river. But back in 1967, we found out we were having the World's Fair here, and the city of San Antonio approached H.B. Zachary, the person who recently purchased this land, and asked him if he could build a over 500-room hotel in just 9 months or less. He thought he could, so he wanted to add some stakes to it. Told the city that if he failed, he would sell them the building for only $1 after it was fully finished. But if he succeeded, they would have to promote it as the best place to stay during the World's Fair. The city agreed, so they got to work very quickly. Built the first 4 floors along with the elevator shafts here on site. Everything from the 5th floor going up was built in a factory, 6.5 miles away. Each individual room was fully furnished before being brought here downtown on the back of a flatbed truck. They were then lifted up and put into place by 2 specifically built cranes for the job. Is each and every single room weighs 70,000 pounds. At the peak of their career, they were putting 35 rooms up on the building in a single day. That's how they were able to build the building in just 202 working days, 7.5 months. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records for fastest construction of a over 500-room hotel. HB Zachary and his family were even lifted up in the final room as it was being put into place. And in the registry of the Hilton, they are the first family to check in because they were already in the building as it was opening up. The next area right here is called La Villita, means the little village. It was our first neighborhood here in San Antonio, opened up in 1722 as housing for Spanish soldiers and their families that were stationed at the Alamo. In 1836, this is where General Santana lined up his cannons and garrisoned his units whenever he was sieging the Alamo. Nowadays, it's things like restaurants, bars, shops, ceramic stores, many different things like that. It's a really good place to be able to get some gifts to take back home to your friends and family. And you know it's good because I don't even get paid for that promotion. The next area that we're going into is the outdoor theater known as the Arneson Theater. Off to the left-hand side seats up to 800 people. And on the right-hand side we have the stage. If that stage looks familiar, you may have seen the movie Miss Congeniality. That's where they had the bikini scene. I may have encouraged some of y'all to go watch that movie for a few different reasons. At the back side of the stage we have 5 bells for the 5 different missions. And the bridge we're about to go underneath is Rosita's Bridge. It's oftentimes used by performers whenever they run out of room on the stage. And it's just a friendly reminder to remain seated, as I've never had someone hit their head on the bridge through my driving. But a few people stand up at the wrong time though, and guarantee it won't feel very good. I've hit my head on it 3 different times. Directly in front of us we have a rancher with cattle. Right behind him, that building right there, back in 1930, that was the San Antonio Public Library. In 1968, it became the Hertzberg Circus Museum. They were said to do a lot of clowning around inside. In 2001, they vacated the building, became a traveling circus. And in 2013, after 12 years of vacancy, that's when we got the Frisco Western Art Museum, which sits there to this day. Inside, they have General Santana's ceremonial sword, Pancho Villa's last known saddle. They even have a full recreation of the Battle of the Alamo up on their top floor. By a show of hands, do we have anyone aboard who's ever been to East Berlin? Y'all need to travel more, you guys. Directly in front of us, we have the Presa Street Bridge, which is the oldest bridge here on our park. It's in a group of 3 as well. It is one of 3 bridges that do not have any columns that extend down into the river. It's essentially just floating. You guys, this bridge was, of course, built in East Berlin, Connecticut. If you got that confused with somewhere else, I have no clue how you did. I was very clear with my words. Coming up to our right-hand side, we have an island with an art piece on it. The art piece is called Father Massenet's Stable, which was gifted to us in 1991 to commemorate the first Catholic Mass that happened in the area back in 1691. The island it is on is in the shape of a heart. It was grown naturally that way by the roots of the cypress tree that are on it. This is Marriage Island. Marriages have happened here for over 100 years. We've seen anywhere from 200 to 300 take place here each and every single year. It's said to bring luck to the people who get married there as well. At least that's what they keep telling my brother. He's about to have his 3rd one there. Yeah, maybe after the 4th one I'll let you know if it works. But we're going into the love tunnel. If you're in a relationship with someone aboard, make sure to give them a kiss underneath. It's said to bring you luck. And you know this one works because my brother hasn't done it. This area as well is the Old Mill Crossing. People used to cross the river here back in the 1800s because it's very shallow and compact. They would water their horses, wash their buggies, take siestas. I'm jealous of that last one. In the 1890s, Teddy Roosevelt and the referees used to practice battle there before the Spanish-American War. Off to the right-hand side, we have the Westin Hotel. It's one of our luxury hotels. If you're staying there, at the end of the tour, let me know. If you can afford the hotel rooms, you can afford my drinks tonight, we can go partying. You guys, do we have anyone on board who's a big fan of the original Ghostbusters movie? I like that movie as well. I have a treat for you guys then. This building high into the left-hand side, does that remind you of anything? Well, if it does, I'm sad to say that you're looking at the wrong building. The one they used was in New York. This building here is the Tower Life building. It was built back in 1929, and the builders were incredibly superstitious. Up around the flagpole, you'll see gargoyles. There are 32 gargoyles atop this building in total. Each and every single one of them are 7 feet long. Whenever it rains here in San Antonio, which doesn't really happen all that often, but those gargoyles will spit water out of their mouth. They were put there to help ward off bad business and bad spirits. And in the eyes of the Smith and Young brothers who built the building, they weren't enough. which is why in between the first and second floor, they also added faces. These faces are called grotesques. The biggest difference between a grotesque and a gargoyle is a true gargoyle has to have a water feature. But they built the building back in 1929, spent $3 million on its construction. In 1929 as well, the stock market crashed. Started the Great Depression. 6 months after they opened, they had to sell the building at auction for just $300